Addicts. Like, hey, Scoob, did you hear Nikki Blake is hosting a Scooby-Doo panel? No. Yeah. Like on today's Scooby-Doo episode, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy meet Nikki Blake. Yeah, and a Scooby panel. Like, we need to get this puppy started. Okay, Nikki Blake, take it away, Scooby-Doo.
Ruh-roh. Oh, there we go. Hello. Where we got on here? What do we got?
Hey, Scott.
Hey, there he is. Cameron, ladies and gentlemen, is in the house. Okay, I want that dog head. Where did you get that dog?
This one right here?
Yes.
I'm on the hunt for you three. I gotta find it was the Scoob. Here, I'll pick it up. It was a Scoob movie theater display.
Okay, Cameron, I am putting Nikki, you heard me say this. Cameron,
yes,
do not do that. That is my Christmas gift and my Father's Day. You have got to get me that.
All right, I promise. I will find you three personally. I will get it to you.
Yes, I've got to have that in my house.
Gotcha.
And if you don't get me one, you're sending me yours. So I'm just warning you.
I can see you show up to my house and just ring the doorbell and be like, hey, hand it over.
Yeah. Your mom answers the door. I go, I'm here for the dog. Hand it over.
Oh my God, I love it.
Like, we're here for the dog, man. We're here for the dog. My pal Scooby-Doo.
Oh my Lord.
I have a beef with Walmart. I've been walking in Walmart and Target lately, and I'm trying to find these Cheese Whiz Scooby-Doo deals, and they're not out anywhere over here.
Yeah, they're hard to find.
You know, the Cheez-Its or whatever. So Walmart actually has it where you can buy them online. So I guess I'll just go ahead and buy some online. But here's the problem with that. I've always tried to stay away from. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to order a box. I'm going to carefully open the box. I'm going to go ahead and devour the Scooby snacks. And then I'm just going to seal it back up and keep the box, because you can't keep food like that. It just doesn't work. I tried keeping those jelly jars. Remember the jelly jars from Zombie Island? Zombie Island. They find a way to creep out at some point. And I don't know how they do it, but it happens. Okay. Yeah. And so, same thing with these graham cracker Scooby snacks. They all end up with mice getting them. If you know what I'm saying. It's just, so I'm just going to open up the box, and that's what I did. Now, let me tell you what I did with Kellogg's when I was voicing those Kellogg's cereal commercials. They would send me the uncut, like non-put together boxes. And I just had asked them for a few. And then all of a sudden one day, this big truck shows up in front of the house. And the guy goes, I got a delivery from Kellogg's. And I go, okay. So they delivered me not only 2 pallets of uncut boxes, like non-put together, right? They also decided that it would be cool to send, Scott and Scooby-Doo, who voiced their commercial, 2 pallets of boxes with the cereal in them.
Wow.
Sounds amazing.
So I had all of these in the garage for months and months, and my wife at the time kept saying, what are you going to do with 450 boxes of cereal?
Oh my God.
So literally, this is a true story. Literally, I got the kids together, and it was close to Halloween. So we thought that it would be good that if I signed the boxes, and we would give those boxes out for Halloween gifts. Okay.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
So the kids, get this. So the kids are ringing the doorbell, and they don't know any better. They're like, hey, Mr. Scott, trick or treat. And I'm like, yep, here's a box for you and a little box for Tommy over there. Yeah. Pure sugar, it's like, so they get home, and I can only imagine, because these kids got these little bags. They don't know where to carry this huge box. And I can just see these kids are coming home, right? They're walking in and like, Mr. Scott gave us a case of cereal. So that's a true story, man. I've never told that story even on the. That was so funny. My dad's like, yeah, and then I had my son at the time. He was like 9 or 8, Presley, and he was out running the roads with him too. And he'd come back and he'd be carrying 4 or 5 boxes, and I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Yeah, the mom said to give this back. They don't want these, Dad."
Oh my gosh,
dude. Yeah, this should be perfect. But anyway, so yeah, so the next morning, my wife was like, "Yeah, you this didn't work too well. You're gonna have to figure out." So I literally went. No, we lived in a subdivision, a huge subdivision. There must have been, I don't know, 100 homes. We walked with a wagon with cereal on a Saturday morning. And I signed the boxes and I left them with a sticky note on everyone. My wife filled out all the sticky notes and it said, "Here's to Saturday morning cartoons. Thanks for being a great neighbor." And I stuck those sticky notes on those boxes and put them in the front door of everybody's house. So
I love it.
So that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
That's great.
So Nikki, what's been up with you? What have you been doing?
Just editing panels and working on another project that will be out soon. So I'm excited about it.
Did you see the artwork? I guess all of us have gotten artwork from this guy now. I guess we
from Will. Your logo looks great.
I'm having mine blow up to a in fact, I'm gonna get it done in a couple of weeks, but I'm gonna have it put on like a those retractable things. They're cloth and they pop open for display. So I'm doing that. It'll be about like, I think it's 10 foot by 8 foot, but it'll be like 10 feet wide, 8 feet tall, and it'll retractable. And I'll use that at all my Comic Cons later this year that I'm doing. And
awesome.
So that'll be kind of cool. It's a great background. That guy did some great work, man. He's what was his name again? Gosh, I feel like an idiot. But
Will Davenport.
Yeah, Will's the man.
Yeah, he is. He's good.
Yeah. So I'm going to do him a Scooby message thing for his daughter. So
oh, nice.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. So what is that? Hey, Cameron, what I should, well, Nikki, Cameron, whatever. What's the latest info? What's the latest word on Scooby coming up? What's the deal?
With new stuff?
Yeah.
There's a new reunion coming to the CW this year.
Yeah, I saw that. It's not just Warner Brothers. It's other studios do the same thing. They bring in people who they think will sell tickets, and I mean, God forbid. I mean, couldn't you see somebody coming in and you're like, "Hey, look, Jack Nicholson wants to voice Freddy." So listen, Frank Welker, we're gonna have to bow out on this one. I mean, nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? They care if the characters sound identical to the characters that were birthed in '69. That's what they care about, okay? And the people that are buying Scooby-Doo by the droves, and I'm talking about the masses. Yes, Scooby has caught on with a whole new generation, and that's fine, and we want to keep doing that. But where the bottom dollar lies is the people that have grown up with Scooby-Doo from the beginning. And that entails 60-year-old people, 50-year-old people, 80-year-old people. It doesn't matter. And when you put somebody in there on a foreign voice to voice an iconic character and it isn't identical, you failed the character. You failed the project and you failed the fan base. So you have to keep with the, I mean, I'm using Jim Cummings for goodness sakes. The guy does Winnie the Pooh better than Sterling Holloway did Winnie the Pooh, and he was the original. And so it worked out. And he also does Tigger better than Paul Winchell did Tigger. Now that's a tall cup to fill, but they lucked out and they got that. couldn't you imagine now Walt Disney going into Jim Cummings and going, hey, look, here's the deal. So we've got Tim Conway. You know who he is? He wants to voice Winnie the Pooh. And so he's a big name. So we're going to let him, or Arnold Schwarzenegger wants to do it. I mean, can you imagine? Hey, yo, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hey, Eeyore, come help me put my tail back on. And you can pump me up.
Oh my God.
Oh, bother. I got a rumbly in my tumbly. I'm a silly old bear. What's your name? My name is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm going to do your voice in the movie. And listen, to my defense, and I am, because I'm proud of it, you know. I mean, Casey Kasem was a friend of mine. He was the original Shaggy, and he will always be the real Shaggy. I'm not trying to take anything away from Matthew Lillard. I love Matthew Lillard. I think he's great. We've had conversations before. We worked over on the Scooby movie, and I think he's done the character justice. He certainly has the heart for the character, and that's great. God, I'm acting like this is my show. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. This panel is the Scott. I have hijacked this panel tonight.
I actually do want to just do the intro real quick, and then.
Well, no, Nikki, you just shut up. This is my show. Listen to me talk. I can talk. I can talk all night long. Just go ahead, Nikki. You do the intro. I want to hear it.
All right. Okay. Welcome to Scooby panel number 6. I'm your host, Nikki Blake from ScoobyAddicts.com. And today we'll be talking to the one and only Scott Innes. Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, I've been here for an hour. So, you know, I apologize for that. I didn't even know the doggone show had an intro, and I screwed that up. So, okay. I feel like Columbo. We've already had the murder, and I've entered the show 40 minutes into the show.
Scott, if you can just do a quick introduction of yourself so that people that are going to be watching this know who you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Innes here. Like Scooby-Doo and Shaggy Too and Scrappy-Doo and Creeper and a whole lot of other Hanna-Barbera characters through the years. And I was looking at, I love this shirt. I got to show you this shirt real quick. Dude, you know how when you order stuff online, sometimes it comes from China, you never know what you're going to get. I guarantee what you are going to get. You're going to get it in 6 months. And then what you're going to get is if you wear a double X, order a tent. Okay? Because what you're going to get is a double X for a Chinese man. And they wear extra, 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 extra small. Yeah. So even a double X in Chinese might fit an infant. But I will say this one did not come from China. It came from probably close by there, like the Philippines or something. But this is a 3X, and it actually fits me pretty good. But it's a cool, look how cool that shirt is.
It's really cool.
Yeah, so not everybody can wear that. But anyway, it's pretty cool.
Nice shirt.
Love it.
So anyway, so what were we talking about?
Well, let's have Wendy and Cameron introduce themselves real quick.
Yes,
too. So
Cameron,
Wendy, go ahead.
Wendy, go ahead. I haven't met Wendy. I haven't met Wendy. Wendy, what
No.
do you do? Are you the one that collects all the stuff?
Heck yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Are you the one that made all the news for the biggest collector in the world?
No, that's Danny. That's
Okay.
Danny.
Well,
I could be like second best. I'm a Canadian woman that collects Scooby-Doo, so I'm like, just down a couple notches from Danny. That's all.
where do you
You're
live
just getting
at?
the knockoff.
Where do you
Northern
live?
Ontario, Canada.
No kidding. I love those folks in Canada. You know, the thing about there are more Scooby fans in Canada, I'm starting to think, than anywhere. That, and this is no joke.
Really?
I order on all the people that order stuff from me. It comes from Pennsylvania or Canada. And now I'm not making this stuff up. My wife and I fill these orders out all the time. Now, granted, Nikki buys a ton of crap, but I mean, seriously, not just Nikki. We send more stuff to Pennsylvania, the state of Pennsylvania, and to Canada than any place in the world.
Wow, that's
crazy.
That is crazy.
Oh, and to Cameron. Cameron buys a ton over there. You know. But seriously, if you said pick two, you know, then that would be it. We send stuff all the time. And you know what's bad is and I'm gonna let you finish real quick, but I gotta tell you, this is funny. So when I set up my onescottshop.com stuff, I didn't take into account that when you ship stuff to Canada, it's automatically an extra $50. I don't care if you're sending an 8x10, if you're sending a pencil, if you're sending whatever, it's $50. It's just the way it is. And so I got people buying $20 autograph pictures for me, and my wife's like, "Okay, so I mailed the picture of you to Canada," and I said, "Oh, okay, that's good. Well, honey, that's $20 we didn't have." She goes, "Yeah, well, it costs $70 to send it. So I'm just going to tell you, you might want to up that price just a little bit to Canada." So, and then if I send stuff to New Zealand, it's the same thing, man. It's almost like $100 to send like over to Australia.
Yeah.
So, okay, Cameron, I'm going to shut up. Introduce yourself. Or Wendy, introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. I'm Wendy. I'm a commission artist and a Scooby-Doo collector, and I have no idea how I'm going to concentrate tonight because I am so excited to be on with Scott. I don't know.
Oh, my gosh. Shut up. You're too kind. Go
Love
ahead.
You.
Oh, my God. Thank you. You're too kind. Wait a minute. Scott's here? Where? Oh, God. And Nikki, you just be quiet. I'm going to take the moderation from here. So, Cameron, where are you at?
Hey everyone, I'm Cameron Bates. I'm from Texas, and I'm a Scooby-Doo collector. I run the fan page Scooby-Doo and Cameron Too. So I'm happy to be here with you guys. Thank y'all so much.
And they also run my page because I'm too lazy. But we're working on that as well. So that's cool. Cameron, I want that Scooby. Look at that. Gosh,
I will find you one. I promise. I will find you 3. I promise. Everything in my power.
I also need you to find me that's the priority. But I need to get a few of those Scooby-Doo things from the movie that they had at the movie theaters that they never came out, but you can buy them online, you know, like some cups and things like that. You know, they had the popcorn, the mystery machine that you put popcorn in, you know?
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah, if you can, you're good at this stuff. You know, your mother's used to people knocking on your door from Amazon Prime. Got a delivery for Cameron here.
Yes.
This one's from China, and this one's from Guam.
Oh my God! Yeah, all the way out here in the boondocks. Yep.
I'm telling you. So, you know what we ought to do? We ought to all put all of our stuff together, open up a huge Scooby museum.
Absolutely.
I would say by the 4 of us, we probably have just about every Scooby-Doo item that's ever been done. I would safe to say we may be missing a couple, but it would be hard pressed to say, you know, there's something that we haven't got.
We'd be missing all the stuff that they have overseas that we can't get.
Yes, that stuff. Well, that's the stuff. That's why we have Cameron. Cameron's good at buying it. That's why the Amazon Prime is constantly delivering to Cameron's house. You know. But you know what's funny? This is a true story. I have made. I'm not bragging on this. I'm just saying. Here's the problem I have when I was doing. Well, I'm still doing. But I voice a lot of toys overseas, and a lot of TV commercials too. Because I did all those McDonald's commercials for people overseas, and the problem is they forget to pay, and well, I don't know if they actually really forget to pay or not. But what ends up happening is they're overseas and they call they'll call Warner Brothers to get the rights to do the toy, the licensing. Warner Brothers will give them the licensing and then give them you got Scott, you can call his agent, you can call Frank Welker's agent, whatever. You work the voice out, okay? Well, then they just put the voice out. They'll send them the chip, but they got to get the rights to it. But they forget to call the agent to get the right. So over the years, okay, over 25 years, I have found over 100 talking toys that forgot to pay.
Wow.
And it's just amazing. And I'm thinking if I found 100, there's got to be 200 that I didn't get.
Right.
So anyway.
Oh, nice mug. I always felt
Yeah.
that would be weird to drink out of.
There's nothing in it. I just thought it was a great prop. I thought it was a great prop here. I don't know why they make these things like this, because they're great mugs, but nobody's going to drink out of them. You can't really drink out of this. I mean, you know, it's awkward, right?
Mhm.
See, what they do is they shouldn't make the inside go up the nose. They should just make it like right there, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. Cameron, you can chime in anytime you want.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have these little things. Anybody got one of these?
The USB,
I
yeah.
have one of those.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah. Cameron, you got one of these?
I do. Yes, sir.
Is there anything Cameron doesn't have?
Yes.
No, no.
Quite a bit. No, Wendy, that is a lie. Yes, there is some stuff I do not.
Jeez, I was looking at some of the stuff over here that I've been working. Hey, did y'all see my Columbo picture that I put up?
That was
Yeah.
cool.
Dude, I love Peter Falk and Columbo. I've been watching that nonstop. Pardon me, but I got one more question. I just couldn't understand how the Mystery Machine could have gotten all the way over to Australia to solve the mystery. And then it dawned on me, you had it made over there. This is one of my favorites too. Do you know what scene this is from? Oh.
Isn't that where in the zombie island where he pulls back? Isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
In the end credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cats, and he goes, rats? Where?
Yeah.
And at the very end, right before they do the whole tribute to Don Messick, he pulls it back and goes, Scooby-Doo. And you know where they also did that same thing was in Witch's Ghost when he did the fangs and he goes,
Mhm.
and then he did that. Yeah. So, yep. So, anywho, oh, by the way, Cameron, I got your stuff, your package you sent me the other day. Thank you. Go ahead and just keep those packages coming.
Hey,
Box
I'm
up
on
that
it.
stuff and send it to me.
Yeah, will do.
Scott, did you ever mail mine?
Yes.
You did?
Yes, it went out. When did? Hey, honey, we sent Nikki's stuff last week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be getting that any day.
All right.
Yeah, Nikki, you know, she buys stuff from me all the time, and she knows dang well it's going to take me 6 months to send it to her. So it's always great, you know, doing business with Nikki because she pays now and she gives me 6 months, same as cash, to send her the stuff. So, but they do get the stuff. So
We do. And
So-
we appreciate you.
Wendy, what is an item, Wendy, that you would want that you do not have?
I'm still waiting for the lunchbox from the 70s. The little metal lunchbox.
The orange one.
The orange one specifically, yeah.
The orange
Yeah,
one.
I don't have the yellow one either, but I feel like if I'm gonna have to shell out for it, I'm gonna save up for the orange one because the
Wait a
orange
minute.
one's the one that's better.
Wait a minute. What? Okay, who has an orange one that I can see what it looks like?
I got one.
Cameron does.
Look at it.
I want to see that, Cameron, because you may
Hey,
have to box.
Just give me 1 second. I got to move a couple things. So.
You may have to box that up for me.
Okay. Hang on. I also got the matching thermos to go with it. So just give me 1 second.
Oh, yeah, listen to Cameron. I got the matching. I've even got
I'm
the
getting
socks to
Scooby
go
bullied
with
on
it.
the
Yeah.
channel.
Cameron's the guy that buys the pajama bottoms and has to have the socks to go with it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Let me see that one. Now, okay, see, I've got that one. Go back to that.
In the
Oh,
orange
Cam-
too?
Let me see that, Cameron. Do that again.
Okay. I'm spinning it around for you guys.
Okay, but don't they have now? What you said, a yellow one? What's the deal with was it a yellow one and then an orange one? The same.
Mhm.
The same.
Yeah, they're exactly the same picture, but one is like yellow painted and one's orange.
Oh, I got the yellow one. Well, let me see.
And they're hard to find them in really good condition.
Hold on.
Or at a good price.
I'm going into the jungle. Oops. Dude. Okay, now I'm going to show you something that I had made. Well, I didn't make this. A buddy of mine did. So a guy named David Bryan, he works for Freedom Prosthetics. And he owns Freedom Prosthetics. Do you know remember the popcorn popper, the head?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got that popcorn head, where you put pops popcorn?
Yes.
Okay, so he made a mold out of that for me. And this is what we got.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
so cool.
I love
And then
that.
he painted it gold.
Awesome.
That sucker is heavy.
Wonderful.
Okay. So let's see which one of these I have. I have the yellow one. Yep, I got the yellow one down in there. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's yellow.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
And then did y'all get your Build-A-Bear talking Scooby that I voiced?
Yeah.
Sure did.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah, that's my voice. Okay. And then I got this thing. I don't know. I bought somebody
That's
sent
killer.
me a deal from my hometown of Missouri. I just got this like inbox message, and they were like, "Hey Scott, my kid collects Scooby-Doo plush animals. Would you like to buy one? Would you like to buy some of them, because we're going to get rid of them?" And I said, "Really?" So I was looking at them, and they were all in mint condition, and some of them I didn't have, to be honest with you. Some of them I did, but I said, "Well, how much for all of them?" And so, I mean, it was stupid. She's like, "Well, look, if you'll just pay the shipping and give us like $50, we'll just ship them to you." So I'm thinking, I had no idea how many, literally that they had. So I gave them $150. They sent me a box that showed up 4 days later. This thing was huge, and it is stacked full of just like probably 100 plush animals.
Wow.
Scooby-Doo. Yeah.
Wow.
Love it.
Boy, what's going on? What's going on, Scott? Oh. So, and then I was trying to find some of the things in here that I've got. I'll tell you something that's hard to get. And you guys know this. They kind of, I don't know how they even got away with this, but these things right here,
Mhm.
dude, you had to spend $500 just to get the set.
Or buy the whole set on eBay for $100 like I did.
Okay, yeah. Or now buy it for $75 at onescottshop.com. And then this is cool. This is the little things that they had. Y'all got that? Those little Hallmark deals.
Oh, the itty bitties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've noticed too, Cameron, you were talking about the other day, the every $5. What's that place? Everything's $5 or something.
Oh, Five Below.
Five Below. So I went in there. They have these, the little, a bunch of these little magnets in there, but I didn't see any of those bubble things. If you go into a Five Below and they have a bunch of them, buy them all for me. I'll pay you back.
I bought the whole box, so I'll send you some.
That's what I love, Cameron. I just bought the whole box.
Oh my God. I know my mom's like, you overdo it. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah. I do the same thing, man. I mean, it's like, I can't say no. I'm just like, because I'll use them in baskets or at signings or stuff like that. This is my favorite jacket right here from back in the day. They don't make this jacket anymore. That's pure leather, baby.
That's cool.
Nice one.
That's got the Scooby-Doo all over that. I love this. And then I was going to show you something that I had. Okay, here's a shirt for you, Cameron. Check this out. So this was made by History. Iceberg. Remember Iceberg? They're really expensive.
Wow.
This shirt was $900. I'm not making that up.
Oh my God.
$900. So I went into the mall and they had all these shirts, right? Different shirts. And I started buying, I want this one. I want this one. I want this one. I get up to the counter. I kid you not. The guy adds it up. And he goes, oh, you're a Scooby-Doo fan. I said, yeah, you can say that. He goes, well, let's see here. I see, you're about $7,000. And I said, that's funny. 7,000. I said, yeah. Hey, guy said, no, seriously, what do I owe you, buddy? He said, 7,000. I said, $7,000. He said, yes. He said, that shirt you're holding right there, that's $900. I said, yeah, I'll take one. I can't believe I bought one.
Wow.
Now, when I first became Scooby-Doo and I had just voiced Zombie Island, the day that Zombie Island came out, the next night I was on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville receiving the CMA for Air Personality of the Year. Okay. So I'm standing up there in front of Tim McGraw and all these bigwigs, and I knew I had the award. I knew I was going to be there. So I called Warner Brothers and I asked who did all of their stitching at the time, who they had a licensor. And so I sent them a tuxedo vest, right? And they got this done for me and then sent it back. Check this out.
Wow. I remember the pictures of you
cool?
from that.
I love that.
Yeah.
So that's so I'm on the mission to be able to wear that again because I've lost 13 pounds in the last month. And
Nice.
so I'm
Right
trying to be able to wear that again, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Right on. I love it.
Now, do you have this, Cameron? And I keep hitting this Cameron because he's the one that seems to be the hoo-hoo ha-ha. Okay.
Cameron knows everything.
Oh my
That is a
It's the
pop.
that I have.
That's
I
the
have
plushie,
that.
the giant pop.
Yeah.
So
I
you
don't-
guys got me
I don't
beat.
have
I
it in
actually
the
don't
box.
have that one.
You what?
And
I said,
mine's
y'all-
not in the box, but I have it.
All right. Well, I got it in the box. Ha ha ha. Oh.
I feel like we
I'm
should
just
have a
gonna-
selection battle.
I'm going to do the rest of the interview in this.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Now, what's funny is when Walmart had those out, right? I'm like you said, Cameron, you can't just buy one.
Right.
So, you got to have a backup, and then you got to have a backup to the backup.
True.
So I'm like walking through Walmart with 20 of those Scooby heads. And you get people that look at you, and of course, like my wife, she's like, what are you going to do with 20 Scooby-Doo heads? I said, well, I don't know. I'm going to put them in a box and I'm going to save them. And she says, for what? I'm like, I don't know. I might need one. There might be a call for it or something here. Nikki, you can say anything at any given moment. Just make it quick.
So I do have a question for you, and it is one of our topics.
All right.
Oh
my God, we actually had a topic tonight. Okay.
We have a bunch of topics.
Okay, let's get going. Hit me.
So this one's we're gonna go a little out of order, but people call Shaggy a stoner, and we've talked about this on the panel before, and we all agree that Shaggy would not have been a stoner. We saw something that Casey Kasem said that he wouldn't have been a stoner, that he was wholesome and pure.
Yeah.
As someone who voiced Shaggy, what are your thoughts on people calling Shaggy a stoner?
Well, I'll just tell you in Shaggy's voice, man, I gotta tell you, we're no more stoners than we are loners. I have to tell you, man, right now, we just love to eat, dude. There's nothing wrong with eating. We love to eat. You don't have to smoke dope to want to eat. We just love to eat. Right, Scoob? Yeah. So yeah, it's all fake. They were great, wholesome characters and voiced by wholesome, great people. So
Guys, is it weird for me to like applaud that? That is like the best answer
I
to
think we
anything
all
I've
should.
ever
I
heard.
love it.
Like Scott,
Woo!
yeah, I mean, it's so funny. I laugh, when people do the whole, man, I heard they were stoners, and I'm like, dude, that's because you're a stoner. But they're not stoners. They were just great, wholesome. Which I have to be honest with you, I loved the Scooby movie that we did in Australia. I loved how they teetered a little bit for the adult comic sense when you saw the smoke coming out of the back, but then they were in there cooking, food. That was a great nod at the because see, Raja Gosnell and Richard Suckle, when they did this movie, they originally, and the writers, this movie was really teetering over rated R, and I'm glad they wised up and made it a PG movie, because it never would have done the money that it did if they had made it. Like there's a scene that they deleted that wasn't in the real deal with kind of insinuating Velma, and I disagree with doing that. I think the characters and I'll tell you something else. This may be one of your topics on Scrappy-Doo. Is that one of your topics tonight? I think I saw Scrappy-Doo.
One was, yes, if the live action contributed to more Scrappy hate.
Okay. Warner Brothers missed the boat on Scrappy-Doo. Scrappy-Doo, I'm just going to tell you, in my opinion, Scrappy-Doo is as popular as Scooby-Doo is, period. Whether you hate him or love him, he is a monster part of the franchise. And if I were Warner Brothers, I would love to have the rights to do Scrappy-Doo movies. I think he even today could be bigger than the Powerpuff Girls. He could be, think about this. Kids love wrestling because the wrestlers are, let me at him. Hey, brother. You got Scrappy-Doo who is like, let me at him. I'm going to rock him. I'm going to suck him. So he is, as to where Scooby and Shaggy represented the coward in everybody, Scrappy-Doo represents the go get them. Let's get it done. Let's dominate the situation and let's win, and I think it hits. There's enough to go around out there in those categories. And I think if they were to relaunch right now a Scrappy-Doo series with Uncle Scooby is, on there, and some Shaggy, but as Scrappy is primarily the focus, they could have a monster hit on their hands right now.
Do you think that they'll be coming out with something Scrappy or have Scrappy in it because they're releasing toys with Scrappy?
Yeah, they should. And they should never have stopped because of Scrappy's popularity. Think about this for a second. Scrappy-Doo. You've got Scooby, you've got Shaggy, you got Velma, Daphne, Freddy. And then you've got Scrappy-Doo. Scrappy-Doo was, I forgot how many, of course, Cameron's going to jump in here and go, give us an exact number. But, wasn't there like 2 years of the Scrappy-Doo show or something like that, or 3 years? I forget what it was, but there's a lot of Scrappy-Doo things, And here's a true story for you. When I forgot what toy manufacturer put out the I know that's what you want, Cameron. I'm trying to find you one of those too. A Scrappy-Doo talking toy. So when they came to me and asked me to voice the Scrappy-Doo toy, I was elated. I said, you need to do that, because they were contemplating whether to do a Scrappy-Doo toy. And I said, this was the folks at Six Flags. And I said, dude, if you do a Scrappy-Doo toy, you will not be able to keep them. So they put them out and they sold out of them, and then didn't even do a reprint of them. So I'm like, that should tell you right there. Kids love Scrappy-Doo. He's cute, he's lovable, he's huggable, and so that's my story, and I'm sticking to that too. Rappy-dappy-doo.
You know, Scott, I when you're talking about Scrappy-Doo, I just gotta jump in here real quick and say this. When I have a Six Flags about an hour from me in Dallas, Texas, and there they have a guy who dresses up like Shaggy. They have a guy dressed up like Scooby, and then they have a Scrappy. Someone dresses up like Scrappy, and they walk around the park. And these kids run to Scrappy, and they love him. They're like Scrappy-Doo, Scrappy-Doo, and you're right. And at Six Flags they have Scrappy-Doo merchandise, stuff like that. I need to go back to Six Flags. You know what? I'm gonna put that on my reminder. But anyways,
I was Googling Six Flags the other day to see if I could find if they had an online store as well. You know, because Universal Studios sells a lot of.
No, they don't.
They don't.
No, they don't. And I hate that because they have the Six Flags store has so much cool Scooby-Doo merch. And
now, I'll tell you where they do have Scooby merch, and I need to find this link. You need to Google this up. We need to find out how to get to this store. They may not have an online store, but we may have to call over there and see what they have and talk somebody into boxing a bunch of stuff up for us. But over in Dubai, I voiced the Scooby-Doo ride over there for the Warner Brothers World, and they have Scooby-Doo stuff like crazy over there in all these gift shops. And I had a friend of mine that went over there, and he goes, dude, and he called me and he held up one of the talking toys and he goes, is that your voice? And I was like, yeah. And I voiced that ride not too long ago, and that's one of their biggest rides. And if you go to Australia, they have the Warner Brothers World over there where they filmed, it actually was the backdrop for Spooky Island, for Zombie Island, when they well, I say Zombie Island, but for the real live movie. And there's a ride now that has actually Scrappy-Doo is the villain, and they use my voice in there because they're using Scrappy from the movie, the sound bites. But God, I voiced all the South Carolina, North Carolina at Carol's Winds, the Cincinnati Kings Island. I voiced that Scooby Black ride, the ride in Houston, Texas. The Scooby ride was in Dallas. I voiced that. Now they're fading out. I don't even know if there's a Scooby ride other than in Australia and in over in Dubai. And then there's a new thing out. You'll have to Google this because I voiced it. They're starting to pop up in malls. And they're Scooby-Doo, what you call it, rooms? Panic rooms?
Escape rooms.
Escape rooms. And I voiced all those stuff for them. I even did Freddy on that thing. So, you know what's funny is, and let me tell you a little bit about this. And Nikki, I heard you talking the other day, you know, about Frank Welker and if he retired and everything.
No, it was if he's going to retire.
Yeah.
Because I started this whole thing online and people were very upset with me.
Yeah. First of all, Frank Welker's never going to retire. He'll die behind the microphone just like I will. So, but you know, here's a thing that people ask me all the time in interviews. What is something you could say that you've lent to the franchise, but you don't ever really take credit for it? And that's a tough question. And, you know, a couple of the fun things I like to tell people is that I've contributed to some of the writing of the movies, just like funny one-liners I thought would be better in the movie. And other character actors have done that too, like on Witch's Ghost, when they solved the mystery at the very beginning, Shaggy was supposed to say, "Give me 5." And I told Davis Doy, who was one of the directors and writers of the deal, and Colette Sunderman. I said, well, you know, first of all, they're like, why? What's wrong? I said, well, Shaggy would never say that because he knows that Scooby only has 4 paws. So he would say, give me 4. And they were like, brilliant. Let's leave it. I love that. Let's do that. So give me 4. And then also in Witch's Ghost, when they see the Hex Girls down the alley and Shaggy puffs up his chest, I said, wouldn't it be funny if we switched him into Casey Kasem's voice instead of Shaggy's voice? And there was like this little mumbo. And then I heard Davis Doy go, how would that sound? And I said, well, instead of like, hi girls, it would be, hi girls, and so they love that. They left that in there. So, but the hidden gems is that I have voiced Freddie in a few things like the McDonald's commercials. I did. And then let's see, what else was I voiced a commercial for the Playmobil, okay, as Freddie. And there was another couple of small things that I've done as Freddie over the years. So it's fun to get a chance to step in and do something that, and actually another true story is one of these places over in London was doing something, and they had one line from Velma. And I said, well, are you getting, what you call it to do that or whatever? They're like, well, not really. We're just going to hire somebody because that's pretty expensive just to get a Jinkies. And I said, well, I can do that for you. And the guy laughs, and I went, Jinkies. And the guy goes, do that again. I went, Jinkies, Scooby, Shaggy. And seriously, they just sped it up a little bit, and they went with my voice on that. And then when I did all the videos for Warner Brothers, all those, like if you buy Scooby-Doo meets Batman and all that, I did all those videos on the, there's about, I don't know, 7 DVDs that are out, and they have theme songs like America's in Love with Scooby-Doo, Velma Dinkley, all these songs I wrote and produced the videos for Warner Brothers. So whenever I would need a Jinkies or a Freddy or like, well, gang, I guess that wraps up another mystery, I would go in and do those voices, and Warner Brothers would call me back and they'd go, okay, did you get Frank Welker to sign off on this? And I said, there is no Frank Welker. It's me. And they're like, even Velma? I said, even Velma. And they're like, are you kidding? Are you serious? I said, I'm serious. So Scooby-Doo McDonald's. I was going to show you this Scooby-Doo McDonald's that I did here. Videos. But here we go. Oh, by the way, Cameron.
Yes.
I need all the Scooby-Doo things that they don't have them over here in Baton Rouge. The little the new things that are at McDonald's right now.
Okay.
So I've got
I will get
Shaggies,
you that.
but I need you too, Nikki. I need the Wendy. I'm gonna put you in this thing. I've got to have I gotta have my whole cluster of those. So
I can't help you, Scott, because up here in Canada, they aren't even out at our McDonald's.
oh gosh.
There's nothing.
Jeez. Well, that sucks.
It does suck.
I was able to grab some extra, Scott, so I'll send you some.
Imagine that.
I
Imagine
can set
that.
myself into a trap. I think that's why I go well with Fred.
Hey Scott, while you're looking that up, I just have a question.
Go ahead.
You voiced Scrappy for the movie, but why didn't you voice Scooby?
Okay, so I did voice Scooby, and when I went in, I took 2 days. I voiced Scooby, and I voiced Shaggy. I mean Scooby and Scrappy. So what's funny though, I'll be honest with you, is when I got there, I didn't even know they wanted me to do Scrappy, but they did. And he says, well, just put it all down. So when I went in, Neil Fanning had been doing the on-camera work, off-camera work, and so that the actors could be in time with the, in sync, so they'd have somebody to bounce off of. And so I voiced all of it. Well, they started cutting it up for test audiences, and Warner Brothers was dead set on me voicing Scooby, but Richard Suckle and Rajda Gosnell and Richard Suckle thought, Neil Fanning, he's been over here for 6 months reading all these lines. Yeah, it's not Scott, but you know what? We're gonna put our own spin on this, and let Neil voice Scooby. all the actors loved him, and he was a great guy. So they put their own spin on it. Well, then it got out that I wasn't going to be in the movie. And that started a lot of negative publicity for the new movie already. So they were having all these they were fixing to gear up for a huge press junket. And they knew that one of the questions was going to be, is Scott Innes in the movie? And so, with that being said, they needed to be able to say yes. And so they called me up and said, would you mind voicing Scrappy-Doo in the movie? And I said, no, I'd love to do it. I just want to be in the movie. I think the movie's cute and everything. So they got me in to voice Scrappy-Doo and put a final on it. And that's how that happened. And then Neil Fanning did Scooby. So, but that was really genius work on Warner Brothers, because now they were able to lie over. They didn't want people to know Scrappy was in the movie, because if they had come out and said Scrappy's going to be in the movie, all the naysayers would have been, oh my God, and that would have been another negative. So I had to sign this 50-page affidavit that I wouldn't breathe a word that Scrappy was in this movie. I drove from Baton Rouge to Houston, Texas to voice it on a soundstage in Houston. When I got done, they decided they wanted to rewrite the whole script of Scrappy. So I came back for a second time to Houston, revoiced it. Then about a month later, they were getting ready to finalize the movie, and they realized that they forgot a whole Scrappy-Doo line where he's walking out and the press is going, so it was Scrappy Cornelius Doo, and he's being carried to the helicopter. And they needed for me to yell out some Scrappy-Doo F-bombs and stuff, And I would have got away with it too if it wasn't them sons of, Well, I was doing that, and I couldn't. It wasn't portraying good enough on the line, because they were going to make the door slam and cut it off. So he said, Raja Gosnell said, Scott, just say the words. We'll cut it. Okay. So I was like, okay. So I'm like doing Scrappy-Doo, and I'm laying those F-bombs down like crazy, and they're all laughing back in Warner Brothers on the Warner Brothers lot in LA. And I'm like, just throwing them all in there. And it was hilarious. It was hilarious. And it came out great, but we did that last line right here in the studio in Baton Rouge. So that's a true story.
And how did you feel about Scrappy being the villain?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I had mixed feelings about it, but at this point, I just wanted to be in the movie. So I saw where they were going with that. I didn't really.
In ancient Egypt, pharaohs used to have their pets made into mummies. And did you know, Scoob, right now at McDonald's, kids can join us on our hunt for the missing mummy.
Here's where I did Freddy. Check this out.
Gang, where have Mrs. Belafonte's carrots gone? We need to get to the bottom of this. Well, maybe they were taken by a ghost. What's that? You guys should really try these carrots. What mystery are we solving again? You can now grab some carrot sticks and look through this.
So I did that as Freddy.
That's really cute.
That's awesome.
But so I thought I was okay with it, I guess, but I took a lot of heat on that, because I'm going to tell you how people, people are diehard. And I had one mom, I kid you not, I went to a red carpet, and this mom comes out and she is scolding me. I mean, she's like, I can't believe that you ruined the movie. I mean, I have hated Scrappy from the start. I hate him now. And then I can't believe those SOBs made him the villain. And I'm just standing there, I said, lady, I just voiced the character. I didn't write the thing. I did not, and then they're like, come on, Tommy, let's get out of here. I'm like, these people take this stuff serious.
We were just
Now-
talking about that before you came on, how seriously people take Scooby-Doo.
Now, I've been asked too a lot. Somebody asked me why. People ask me regret. And I regret not going to the red carpet for the Scooby-Doo movie. I mean, how many times do you have a chance to walk the red carpet at a freaking deal? And let me tell you why I didn't go. So at the time I was married to Jody, and you know, they did not want me to, they only wanted to give me one ticket. And I was like, well, I'm going to fly all the way out there. And, you know, and I can't bring my wife. I mean, this is the biggest night of my life, really. And I can't bring my wife. And I'm like, nope, one ticket. And I was like, well, you know what? I got other things. And I had some other stuff going on. And I just said, you know what? I'm just going to do that. I mean, because I could have stayed back in Baton Rouge, which I did, and did a huge movie premiere here, which I did, and host the movie premiere here, and do that and get all the press here, than to fly to LA by myself, one ticket. I was even paying my own hotel room at Universal. So I said, so you're going to give me one golden ticket to get in, but I'm paying for my airfare and for my hotel. And they're like, yep, that's it. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not coming. So, and they said, okay, good. See you later. So that was, but I do wish now when I look back that I had gone, because regardless, I mean, you know, when you look at it, okay, they only had so many tickets. And if everybody brought 2 people, you couldn't even get the cast in there, you know? So, I do regret that. So, but I did fly. They did fly me to LA or to New York when they came out on the DVD. When the DVD came out, they had me go up, and they did on, it wasn't Ellis Island, but it's where they had a big insane asylum. It was I forgot what island they didn't call that up there. But I went up there and hosted that with the Baja Men. And we did fun things on the stage, and it was out in the middle. I mean, you could walk at the end of this island out in this grass, and you're standing right in front of the Statue of Liberty. And it was just amazing. And I remember calling my wife at the time on a cell phone. And I said, dude, I'm out in the middle of this channel watching, you know, everything unfold. And it's huge. And it was so surreal. And so anyway, and scary. And I hosted this thing. So I thought to myself, I'm in New York City. I'm in Times Square. I've got to get some more press on this thing. So I'm in my hotel room, and I call Fox and Friends. Okay. And I had a number on my cell phone because I had known someone years ago, but I knew the front desk. So I called up, and I'm like, I changed my voice. I'm like, yeah, this is Rod Kellerman. I'm calling on behalf of Warner Brothers. We have Scott Innes in town. You know, he's the voice of Scrappy-Doo in the new movie. And he'd love to swing by if you could throw him on a few minutes, talk about the new movie. It's coming out today on DVD. And the guy says, oh, dude, that's great. Let me call you right back. So they call me back. Next thing I know, I'm walking into Fox and Friends, and sitting across from me is Johnny Cochran, and he's promoting his new book. And I'm sitting there holding a copy of the new Scooby-Doo movie, ready to go on with Fox and Friends. And it was during the World Series, and my Cardinals were in the World Series at the time. I'm a big Cardinals fan. And so before I went on, Johnny had just come off, and I said, Johnny, did OJ do it? He looks at me, and I kid you not, he says, well, Scooby, let me ask you this. Do you think he really would have needed me if he didn't? And I went, I like that. He winked at me. And so, and then, and you can't verify that story because he's dead. But that's actually a true story. And then, so I went in there, and they had me read. It's on YouTube if you YouTube it. They had me reading. I wore a Scooby-Doo sweater. I bought that sweater from that iceberg deal. It was like $900 or $800 and something for the sweater. and I brought that one shirt. So I wore that sweater, and it has the big Scooby face on it. And I read all of the lines of the Scooby-Doo deal, like the play-by-play, like last night, it was like a barn burner. The Cardinals hit 3 grand slams and blah, blah, blah. And I was doing all this, and the guy's just laughing his butt off, and he's holding up the movie. And now here's the one more fact. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I clarified this. Well, I haven't lately, but I remember on my first 4 movies, they pulled the numbers for me at Warner Home Video. And Baton Rouge, Louisiana sold more Scooby-Doo movies per capita than any other place in the country. It's because I'm on my radio show every day promoting all these movies and doing all these Walmart signings. I would go do a Walmart signing, and we would sell 900 DVDs, and I would sign them one after the other. We bring the character in, and we would sign for 5 hours. 900. And then I did a signing in Morgan City, which is about an hour south of Baton Rouge. And I'll never forget, I got there and they had shipped in the Spanish talking version of the movie instead of my voice. And the lady goes, great. How are my kids going to understand this? So what we had to do is we had to open up the DVD. We had to signed the movie and told everybody that the following week, if they brought their movie back, we would swap the disc for an English speaking disc. So Warner Brothers had to ship in the right disc. And I'll never forget, they sent me the character, right, for the signing, and I had my son wearing the costume. And I told him, I said, now be careful when you're walking out here, Josh. I said, these feet are big and you're clumsy and you're going to trip and fall. And the last thing I need is that head flying 25 feet forward and rolling at some kid's feet. So we laughed about this, right? Dude, I'm sitting at the table and I didn't have any help to go get for Josh. So here I hear this big thump. Boom, 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 boom. Here comes Josh in that costume. And he tripped and fell. And I'm going to tell you, that head did exactly what I said it was going to do. It rolled 10 feet to the bottom of some kid's feet, and all I could think about was lawsuit. This kid looks down, he goes, look, Mama, Scooby lost his head. And I'm just like, true story, I'm like this. Thank God it was Morgan City. Down there, they think everything's funny. So, but yeah, this kid's going to be scarred for life. So what are you in for, kid, counseling wise? Well, I saw Scooby lose his head. I'm tortured for life. So that's a true story.
So you were talking about you had a regret, and Wendy had brought up the topic. Is there anything throughout the 52 years of Scooby-Doo that you feel is like totally messed up? Anything that just didn't make sense or didn't fit? So actually, Wendy, let's start with you on your thoughts on this.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Thank you, Nikki.
This is going to be unpopular opinion, but I know that so many people love Mystery Incorporated, and it's not that I don't like it, but I feel like it does to Scooby-Doo exactly the thing that I wish that they would have never done, which is it introduced conflict between the gang.
Yep.
It introduced a level of negativity that maybe it's realistic, but did we really need it in Scooby-Doo? Or that's, for kids and something that's wholesome and should be enjoyable? No, we really didn't. And it also introduced a level of darkness that I'm not saying that it's bad, but again, I don't personally want it for Scooby-Doo. I think Scooby had really great villains. It had some scary moments, but it never went to a dark place. And I feel like Mystery Incorporated absolutely embraced the dark that I feel like Hanna-Barbera did a really, really great job trying to avoid going from fun scary into reality scary. So while I agree, there's stuff about the series that I can enjoy, but it would not break my heart if that series had never existed.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree with more. You hit the nail on the head on that deal. That is exactly how I feel about it too. I think for me, as much as I like it, I hated it. And that's and I'll tell you another one that I loved but I hated. And I as much as I love the fact that they did it, because my 4 movies that I did, that's what made them unique. But at the same point, they broke character on the movie and they made the monsters real. And when you make monsters real, to me, you're telling your child that feels safe to watch Scooby-Doo because it's always a man under a mask. And you spent all these years teaching your kid there's no such thing as monsters. And then now you're coming back going, well, that's wrong. There are real monsters. And so the tagline in Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, which was this time, the monsters are real. For me, I was okay with it because I didn't care. But a lot of moms on the negative that I read, a lot of them, Warner Brothers showed them to me. A lot of the moms were like, my kid loves Scooby-Doo. I think you did wrong to the character, to the series when you made the monsters real. And so as much as I personally liked the uniqueness of it, I also did not like it that way either. So in my opinion, now think about this. When they came out with Zombie Island, Scooby had not had a movie in 8 years. So you could have came back to the whole guy under a mask and kept the whole column. People love a great mystery. Who was it? And in my opinion, you could have introduced a couple of celebrities into that deal and played the whole deal, and everybody would have been fine with that. Nobody would have complained about that at all. Why? Because it's the same formula. I've been watching Columbo for like 2 weeks, and there was like 70 something episodes, 24 movies. Every single episode is the same. It's the same formula. It's the same deal. They only changed one show where Columbo actually let a villain go. And it was an older woman on the show that actually got Alzheimer's or whatever, and she couldn't even remember doing the crime. So the caretaker looked at Columbo and he says, she doesn't even remember doing the crime, and she's got a short time. You gonna lock her up? And he turned around and he says, I'm gonna forget this one. And he walks off. But that Columbo episode showed heart into a character, into the genre. But I still feel that they screwed up, because Columbo should have, in my opinion, thought about it for a second, and he should have said, I'd love to, but I'm a cop. And she committed murder. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's the one episode that a lot of the fans that I've been reading on these Columbo sites said that didn't belong. Which one doesn't belong? And that was the one. And so for Scooby-Doo to come out with the monsters are real, not so much, but I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. And I love that that's one of the parts I found unique. But again, when you're trying to explain to a child's mom, why you did that, I don't know,
Cameron, is there anything that you felt didn't make sense?
I think I'm going to chime in with you guys on this. And from previous panels, I'm a person that likes to keep Scooby-Doo clean. And I know, Scott, you can agree with us on that. I think when you start trying to take Scooby-Doo and put him in more real life situations where, in the real world, there's murder, there's sex, there's all these awful things that when you turn on the news, you see every day. Yeah. But why are we trying to take Scooby-Doo? I mean, and I talk about him, I have him around. He's a cartoon dog that brings joy to kids and adults and people all over the world, and Scott, that the most because you voiced him. You know how much joy he brings to people. And so and you're right. And there's been newer series that have come out, and I'm not going to say which ones, but you guys know which ones, and people watching knows which ones. They make it a little bit darker. And and there's also rumors and news come out saying there's going to be new series coming out. That new Velma series is going to be coming out. They're talking about not even having Scooby-Doo in it. And here's where I stand. How do you make a series that doesn't have a Scooby-Doo in it? You know what I mean? You want to still call her Velma, then she's not Velma. And that's where I stand. And here's my thing: when you start trying to take, like, for example, Wendy, you mentioned Mystery Incorporated, and a lot of fans love Mystery Incorporated. I love the show, I really did. But here's the things I didn't like. I didn't like that they try to shove Shaggy and Velma together to be a couple. I did not like that. I was like, what are we doing here? I didn't like how Velma was mad at Scooby-Doo half the time. Because here's my thing: in the original series, Scooby and Velma had one of the best relationships, in my opinion. They did. Yep. And another thing too is I didn't even like the whole Daphne and Freddie thing. I'm just not a big. I don't think the gang should be trying to to me, and this may be a very raunchy word, but lust. It was like they were lusting after each other in a way. Yep. And here's my thing: get that out of kids' cartoons. Take it out. We don't need it. Yep. And to me, I think keeping the formula, like you said, Scott, is what keeps Scooby-Doo alive. I think it's what kept Scooby-Doo around for 52 years. And I hope that they continue on with that formula, that it will keep him around for 50 more years. And that's my thing.
When you stray from the formula, you're going to tick off the fan base. And when the fan base gives up on the character, the merchandising sales are going to bottom. Yes. And when that happens, nobody's going to care anymore. I want to show you a quick, I pulled this up on my screen. I got a buddy named Scott Neely. He's a Disney Warner Brothers artist. He's incredible. And he helped me create my characters, Hal and Al, years ago. And we talk all the time still. And he still does the occasional cover for Scooby-Doo for DC Comics. He's done a ton of them. And he did this on one of the series, on one of the I forgot, it's called The Forest Phantom. And he did this, and he put Camp Ennis. He put little hidden Easter eggs.
Oh, that's cool.
And so right here, if you can see that, Camp Ennis.
Oh, wow.
That is
I thought was really cool. Do y'all see that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Right there. Did y'all see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So there's actually a few more. I don't have all of them, but that was it. That's the main one. So he would put these little hidden Easter eggs in these DVDs or in these artwork and these storylines. And he also created this T-shirt, which is on my site at onescottshop.com. And so anyway, but I'm trying to this is one of my favorites too.
That's a great picture.
That's really cool.
But yeah, I mean, so people ask me all the time, how many talking toys have you voiced all through the years? And I'm like, dude, probably over 1,000 of them. I mean, over 25 years. I mean, different and there's stuff I don't even know I voiced. Overseas, I've caught a bunch of them, but dude, I mean, you can go on and Google stuff all the time and find talking toys that you didn't even know existed. Here's one of my favorite toys. Cameron, do you have this? Check this out.
Let me see. Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah, I voiced that. And of course, these came from here's another one. That's a room guard, hide and seek Scooby-Doo. So there's a toy manufacturer named Jimmy Toys out of Dallas, Texas. And if you've got that brand new talking Scooby that's a room guard, the big tall one that came out at Christmas time that has the Scooby hat, Jimmy Toys put that out. And I used to be really good friends with, I don't know if he's even there anymore. But years ago, I'm talking like 2001, 2002, 2003, this guy was the guy at Jimmy Toys. And I would give them all of these different ideas of toys that I thought would be cool to put out, because they did Christmas toys, Easter toys, Halloween toys, Easter, all that stuff. And they had the license to do the themed for the holidays. They even did one year. They did what do you call it? The Luck of the Irish, the green, St. Patty's Day, talking to Scooby. So I told him, one of the toys that I came up with, I said, wouldn't it be great is if you did a talking Scooby-Doo, like a rut row deal to put on the dashboard, call it Dashboard Scooby. And whenever someone pulls out in front of you or something, you hit it like it's like rut row, you get mad. And so they created these, okay. And what's funny is it's probably of all the toy ideas I gave them, for some reason this one didn't catch. And they couldn't catch these things. They only did like 100 samples, and they would say, we're trying to get Walgreens, CVS Pharmacy to buy in on them, Target, Walmart. Nobody bought on them. And so they sent me a box of them. I've only got like maybe 2 now, but you put them on the dashboard of your car, and when someone would, you'd slap it, and it'd be like, rut roll, hey, watch out where you're driving. All this little fun things for people who and then the talking Scooby-Doo telephone. You got one of those?
Yes.
That was my idea. I called, this true story, I cold called the manufacturer that did those phones, and they only had like Goofy, Snoopy, Winnie the Pooh, and a few other big name, Mickey Mouse. And I called the manufacturer, and I got a hold of the guy that actually made the decision. And he goes, man, I'm a huge Scooby-Doo fan. He goes, yeah. He says, but man, there's so much cost in setting these things up, and then you got to sell them. And I said, well, what's a big cost? And he goes, well, first of all, getting the voice talent to do it, because selling it, he says, a lot of times we put the voice on these toys and go sell them. And if you ain't got the real voice on there, they don't even hear it. They don't even want to buy it. And I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. How about if you'll do the molds and have the toy made, I will voice it for free. If you sell it, you pay me my fee. He's like, brilliant. So he calls Warner Brothers, gets the rights. Of course, he already had Warner Brothers rights, because I think they were doing Bugs Bunny phones too already and stuff like that. So he just adds Scooby-Doo onto his deal. I went into a studio, did him all of the Scooby, all that idea stuff, phone call, all that's me. He took it and sold it to the people of the deal and sent me the check. So that was my idea on that talking phone.
People love that talking phone.
I've got 2 of them. I got one up in the attic and one in my Scooby room. And well, I really, it was a sad day when all the Warner Brothers stores closed. Remember those?
Yeah,
sure did.
I would drive to New Orleans and go to that Warner Brothers store and do all the signings down there. Do you know, you talk about being a Scooby fan and having your heart broke. When they decided, now I was best friends with a guy named Dave. I forget his last name. He's going to kill me, but he worked there. He had been there since the start in New Orleans. He got a memo. He knew, he had heard rumors that they were going to close the stores, and they've started closing a few of the stores. He got a memo on a Sunday afternoon, that they wouldn't be opening up on Monday. And when he was to report Monday, though, to work to start boxing up stuff. When he went in there, they had a crew come in and demolish all of the props on the walls, the Scooby-Doo. He said, Scott, he goes, I was begging them to let me keep the Scooby at the door when you came in, all the stuff. He said they were taking hammers and busting them all up.
Oh, that's painful.
I think I would cry. And but he was they were boxing all the stuff to send back to Warner Brothers. And but every prop, and you know how fancy those things were. They were coming out of the ceilings, everything. Yeah. So but
golly.
but there's rumor. This is rumor. I heard this the other day. There is rumor that they are considering rebuilding a few of the Warner Brothers stores.
Wow.
They're going to do one that I think they're looking at Atlanta, because Cartoon Network is, they still have a lot of that, the whole area over there in the studios, and one Burbank, adding in to their studio deal a huge Warner Brothers. So they already have a store, but they're going to go back to the old look, to where it had all the flying stuff, and see if they can get some traction on that, and before they make a decision whether they're going to open up more Warner Brothers stores. So
That
I
would
hope
be
they
awesome.
do, because I love those.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were nice stores. They had
Yeah.
a lot of great stuff. Yeah.
Well, gang, I guess that wraps up another mystery, unless you got another another question. Did we miss a question?
So one of the things that we did want to talk about is the future of Scooby-Doo. What do you think is going to happen, or do you think something's coming?
Well, I think Scooby is going to be around long after we're gone. Okay. I just hope to keep the integrity of the character, that they continue really making it a point to make Scooby sound like Scooby-Doo, and that Shaggy sound like Scooby-Doo. Here's the sad thing for me, and I don't mean this in a negative way, because I love Matthew Lillard. I think he is a great guy, and he has done an amazing job. I love Frank Welker. I think Frank is one of the most talented voice men in the industry. He has done more for cartoons. Well, he is my Mel Blanc today of back then, when Mel Blanc was doing all the characters. He is that guy today. But I would love to see somebody at Warner Brothers, go, hey, let's bring Scott back to voice a movie as Shaggy or Scooby-Doo. I'll settle for Shaggy. But because I think the kids have gotten so used to, the new generation growing up with Matthew Lillard, that they don't remember Casey Kasem's Shaggy. And that is an iconic character. Mm-hmm. It wasn't so much the look, it was Casey Kasem doing the voice. And he had a unique sound. And when you're doing the sound like this, that's Shaggy Rogers, man. And you got to keep it going. You got to let everybody know that Shaggy is alive, he's breathing, and he's like, man, still eating all that food. If they came out with a new movie and it said, and featuring Scott Innes as Shaggy Rogers, like, yeah, man, the voice is back. Dude, I think that would be a huge, huge marketing tool. I think you would see fans going, yes, we love Matthew, but we got Scott back in a movie. And I think they would see their sales do something that has never been done in the last 15 years. Right. So, yeah. Long live Casey Kasem as Shaggy. And the only way we're going to do that is to bring Casey Kasem back. And I'm as close as you're going to get. You know it, man.
Wendy and Cameron, do you have anything else that you want to ask Scott?
No, I'm still sitting here starstruck. I don't know what I'm doing on this panel. I'm glad that I'm here, but I'm not exactly sure how I ended up here. I'm honored to meet Scott, and I don't know what else to say.
Well, if I don't make it voice acting anymore, I'm going to get me a food truck. It's going to be like that.
Nice.
I'm going to hit the road, man.
Scott, before you go, and other than Scooby's Meddling Kids with Scott Innes on Facebook, where can people find you?
Well, onescottshop.com, baby. That's me. That's where I got all my old Scooby stuff for sale, and posters and pictures that I do. You know that. I've got all these little one-of-a-kind stuff that I love doing. And so, I've been doing a lot of little voice. You got Cameo, but I've got Dewey-O. And so you can call me up, and, for $50, we do all that money goes to charity, but and helping in my kids' charities. But I do a ton of those for people. So for birthdays, just regular Scooby fans, whatever the case may be. And who wouldn't want to have Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy wishing them a happy birthday, or just basically saying thank you for being a fan? And because, you know, it is what it is. And this picture right here says a million words. Let me show you here. I'm Scrappy-Doo. I'm my Uncle Scooby. Yeah, Scrappy-Doo. So,
I love it.
Cameron,
Wendy,
where
let's
can-
keep in touch. Thanks. Nice to meet you. Always, Nikki, love you. You're such a sweetheart. Look
Yeah,
at you.
you
You're
too,
just.
Scott. Thank you
and,
so much for doing this.
And Cameron, get me one of those Scooby heads. You hear me?
I'm on it. I'm on
Make-
it.
Well, you're going to be on it because you're going to be shipping me yours if you don't get me one. So, you better be on. Oh, here's a picture I got to show you real quick. Somebody did this on Facebook. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Trent, that's awesome.
It's highly logical, Captain. You know, so I'm telling you from one Scooby to another, it's against the laws of nature. So, I'm going to go back to the couch and watch. Oh, I got a picture of me watching Columbo. Let me show you. This is me watching Columbo. So,
Oh my God.
Scott, before you go, Cameron, where can we find you on social media?
For sure. So you can find me at Scooby and Cameron on Facebook. You can find me at Scooby and Cam on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And Wendy, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter or WordPress. I'm at Wendy Loves Jesus, or you can find me on Instagram. I'm at Wendy Brydge. It's Brydge with a Y. And if you're a Scooby fan, come and see the painting that I'm working on right now.
ooh, and Wendy loves. Did you say Wendy loves Jesus?
Yes,
Amen.
yes, on both WordPress and on Twitter. But yes,
I love it. I
amen.
love it. I love it. Someone's calling in. Look at this real quick. Remember this one, Nikki?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Nikki
awesome.
drove all the way down here for that.
Yeah. And
She
it was so
almost
worth
drove
it.
back with the mystery machine, but I wouldn't.
I can believe it.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great night.
You too.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Scott.
Scott.
Talk to y'all later. See you, Wendy. See you, Cameron. See you.
Bye,
Nikki.
Scott. See you later.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another Scooby panel. I'm Nikki Blake from ScoobyAddicts.com. If you like these panels, please subscribe to my channel for more great discussions. A very special thank you to voice actor Scott Innes, Cameron Bates from Scooby-Doo and Cameron Too, and artist, blogger, and Scooby collector Wendy Brydge. Scooby and Shaggy were voiced by Scott Innes. Check out Scott's page, Scooby's Meddling Kids with Scott Innes, on Facebook. Scooby Addicts art by Will Davenport. Video editing by Mike Burns. Music composed and performed by Bovine Nightmares. Please join us next time for our discussion about Scrappy-Doo.